On VLNK, Blink Charging UK to expand EV charging network in North Hertfordshire. On TNDM, Tandem Diabetes announcing an agreement with Abbott for integration of automated insulin delivery systems. That's on TNDM. On ONDS, prices upsized, $40 million public offering of common stock and warrants. On GNS, acquires Entrepreneur Resorts, expands Genius City model with 50% increase.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Logan Racer, Steve-O, how are you guys? Yeah, AMSC, it just never really slowed up, man. Yeah, it just never really stopped going higher. It just kept kind of grinding here. Right off the lows. No real clean setup to get involved, which is a shame. Morning, A. Good morning, Maladay. How are you guys? Prath, how are you? Yeah, I just looked at it. I mean, it's lagging Bitcoin, but, you know, it just kind of broke out over a little flag here, and it's back above the 200. So all things you want to see. I mean, I'm not going to hate on it. I think it looks pretty decent. I just think it's lagging. But, you know, ideally, Ethereum can continue going and Bitcoin can continue going. I did buy coin yesterday, so – you know, slight little gap up this morning, about $2. Yeah, I don't think anything is wrong with it by any means. How about let me see. I mean, you know, you could have gotten it, you know, when it got over the 200, but, you know, I just want longer digest. I want a sideways consolidation. I mean, it's not always going to be picture perfect like ARC, but, you know, a little flat base like this is, you know, get above the 200, consolidate cleanly for, you know, a week or two, and then get going. Much better. Where? No, I wouldn't. Where's the high volume close on GME? I wouldn't be playing this as a high volume close setup. Those normally occur after earnings. Oh, game. Excuse me. Again, same question. Where's the high volume close? This thing trades $360,000 a day, man. Why are you even looking at this is the real question. All it takes is the smallest player in the world to move this thing. You don't want to be in these kind of names. PL, much better. 596 is a pretty interesting spot. And PL's in a pretty good group right now. Aerospace and defense. It's like in the best group in the market currently, or one of the. Aerospace and defense is, yeah, it's one of the better groups out there. Almost a top 10 group. Yeah, Uber's on my radar. Needs to stay over 87.87, which is the high of the 529 down day. If it can do that, I'd be a little bit more interested. Yeah, sometimes names do this. They get just a little extended right away, and then they need to digest. It could still be viable. SMR and Oklo look pretty interesting still. They still look like halfway good longs, honestly. They're a bit extended here to take them as new longs. I mean, they're up 70% from their 50 simple moving average. They're just too far gone to take as longs. So I would kind of just leave them alone if you're not already long them. Yeah, the crypto names look pretty interesting. I would like to see them kind of base out over the 200, right? Hut and Cores are probably my two favorite. I don't really see other ones that I really like just yet. Yeah, I guess Iron, Wool Slagging. I mean, this thing's still not even above its 200. So I'm kind of just waiting for them to get above and then consolidate. I mean, they may not all be ideal, but just get above the 200 and build a higher low. I think that could be good enough, depending on what Bitcoin's doing. Yeah, I thought Ethereum looks better. Yeah, Hood's exactly that. Hood's got relative strength, but again, Hood's not buyable. It's just still too extended. It's up 40% above its 50 simple moving average. Just far too extended here for anybody to buy it. Isn't GoGo another aerospace and defense name or something? Let me look. Wireless telecom services. What do I think of WWW? It's fine, just thin. Same thing, same deal. This thing had better setup right here. You see when I talk about of letting things go sideways, this is better. Go up, build a range, break from the range. But WWW right now, just got done coming out of a big downtrend. And again, it only trades 22 million bucks a day. It's just, I guess, it depends what kind of size account you're trading with. These aren't really names that I can look at, but looks all right. It's getting back above the 200. I don't know what sector it's in, let me tell you. Wolverine, textiles, apparel, and luxury goods. It's not even a great group right now. So just be more patient. How do I feel about coin? I bought coin yesterday, so I hopefully feel pretty good about it. I bought it when it took out yesterday's highs. Bitcoin was acting well. MSTR was going. So I got myself involved. We'll see how it hangs up, honestly. I think it looks pretty decent, but no real opinion. Just needs to hold above yesterday's lows. And then 265.5 will be the next spot that I'll be looking at. It's got to take out that kind of nasty down bar that it had a few days ago. INSM, isn't this a shipper? Oh, Insmed. Oh, yeah, this is causing some pressure on UTHR this morning. I saw this. Yeah. What was the news? This isn't even on earnings. Positive results from study of treatment for high blood pressure in lungs. Yeah, it'll be good to just kind of wait to see what it does. Let it open and keep an eye on it. Yeah, I was hoping that coin would move a little bit more like MSTR yesterday, but yeah, obviously it didn't. And I was hoping it would have, but coin was still up quite a bit by the close. It was still up. What did this thing close at? 256. It was still up 2.5%. I don't know. I think part of it too, P, is that I think people have gotten so used to there needing to be some 4, 5, 6, 7%. Like, I don't understand why there has to be some 7% move on the day Bitcoin's up. Like, since when did 2.5%, 3% gain stop being a good gain? But I think that's just kind of the market that people have grown accustomed to. They think like just because, coin didn't have the same day as MSTR that it's bad, where MSTR is up 5, coin's up 2.5. I don't want to read too much into that, honestly. But yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. You'd have liked it to have been up more. I mean, me too, because I bought it, but yeah, A-Lab fine, just kind of resting here after getting back above the 200. Semis were all doing well yesterday. So we'll see. HSAI, a little bit more speculative. Yeah, and this thing still hasn't taken off, but let me actually set an alert on this thing. How about Snow? Yeah, I own Snow at like 205, and it just never really pushed away quickly from my average. The high volume close 203.18 is definitely the spot that I would be focused on. Over 203.18, good. Below that level, I'd start to get a little bit weary, but looks fine. No, I would not be looking to enter hood just yet. Still too extended from the 50 simple. Could it go higher? It could, but it'll just have to go without me. It's just too extended. One down day, guys, is not a consolidation. You go back and look at this, study these charts like GEV, right? Over here. Right? They make this big move up, right? And then people just want to buy them after like one down day. And all of a sudden, what it really needs is just weeks of sideways. Right? This isn't the only example of that, but buying something as it's coming out of weeks of sideways is much healthier. Again, this was the DeepSeek moment, so it's like you couldn't have really predicted that. Nobody could have. But, this is how charts move, right? They go up, and then you want them to go sideways. The longer the sideways, I won't say the longer the sideways, the better, but it allows you to manage risk. Look at ARK, same deal recently, right? You get the move up, and then you go sideways for a nice long while. Right? A few weeks. Sideways. Then as soon as you're coming out of the sideways consolidation, I'm buying it. That was it. Nothing too crazy about it. Wait for sideways on hood. No, what sucks is I own CLS too. I owned it at $100 and I just chopped myself out a little early. But still a touch extended from the 50. I mean, I suppose it is buyable today, 123.5, but I wouldn't. Not just yet. It's like 28% above the 50 simple. It's just a little bit extended. So be a bit more patient with that one and just wait. I know I chopped myself out, so I feel like an idiot, but Can't catch them all. Because kind of at this point here, I was thinking the market was going to go through a bit more digestion, and I just wanted to be a bit more proactive on not having too much long exposure. But what am I supposed to do about that? Nothing. What are my thoughts on IPOs? IPOs are fine. I mean, I don't trade them on day one. I will, I like recent IPOs. So like stocks that recently IPO'd within the last, year or two, or even few months. I think KRMN was a recent IPO. Yeah, like this KRMN, recent one, made a nice move up, digested nicely. We talk about sideways, just talked about sideways. Yeah, for sure. And I don't even know that I'll be buying Uber today. The market would have to be acting awesome for me to do that. So, but yeah, Uber looks good. It's almost like a 20 simple moving average undercut and rally where it, undercuts the 20 and then has that kind of nasty down bar and then reclaims that 20 and, that nasty down bar. On some news today, I didn't think the news was that, that big a deal, but it was on some news. So that's always nice to see. Don't really know how I feel about it. I don't think it's that big a deal one way or the other. But yeah, 87 is the level that I'll be watching. Before I do anything too much, right at the open, I kind of need to manage what I recently bought, which is TEM and Coin. Now, TEM I bought really well. So I'm sitting nicely there. But Coin, we're a little bit closer to, my average, even though I bought that pretty well yesterday too. But I kind of just need to make sure that I'm managing those first, and then, we'll take it from there. If those are showing me some progress, then I can come in for other stocks. Yeah, BitDeer, I'm familiar with BTDR. What are my thoughts on BitDeer? It's not my favorite. I like Hut more. I like Cores more. Those I like a little bit more. No, I don't really see a setup on HIMS just yet. I mean, I guess if we looked at the 60-minute chart, somebody, or 30-minute chart, somebody might see a setup there, but I don't see anything I like just yet. Big volatility here, Just got to be patient, I think. Let this thing build out a little longer, maybe a higher low down the road, even if you end up buying it higher. I'm okay with buying it higher, at least if I know it's going higher. The only thing I like on HIMS going into today is how tight of a candle yesterday was. So if you were to buy it over yesterday's high and you're using yesterday's low, it's a pretty tight stop. That's what I would say. That's the only thing. If you buy HIMS, right over 57.30, call it, and then you're using 54.60 as your stop, it's about as tight as it's going to get on this name. Can I go over my team buy? Yeah. As soon as it got over prior day high and this downtrend line break. It's just like a little pennant bull flag, however some people want to look at it. Had a shakeout candle, came right back on this day here on a pickup in volume, and then just digested a few more days. That's it. Just a breakout over prior day high, a little breakout of the downtrend line. Nothing too crazy, honestly. And then there was some people coming in for some, I think it was like $90 calls for next month, which was kind of wild. So I was like, all right, got options players in this thing betting on higher, and we'll see. Are you talking about the HIMS stop loss? That's about as tight as it's going to get on HIMS. Yeah, that's as tight as it's going to get on HIMS. 4% is not even that crazy. So if you think that that's nuts, just size it down to a 5% position or something and then add to it. Oh, TEM? Yeah. Well, I mean, even TEM, again, this thing's a volatile mover, so you just got to position size properly. It's all you can do. I wouldn't even be thinking about the rest of it, honestly. Just make sure you size right. You're not buying 20% of your account here. Yeah, I mean 4.11%, 4.33%, those are all acceptable. Just make sure you size right. Right, like more than 7% is definitely a no, but if you can keep your stops within 7% and then size in, even 10% of your portfolio, that would be a 0.7% loss. So it's still manageable, but even I don't really like 1% portfolio losses. Like, you would just take a 5% position. You do a 5% position and have effectively a 0.3 or a 0.4% loss. That's completely respectable. No, I didn't buy NVTS. No buys on NVTS for me. Too extended. I don't know where I would have bought this thing, honestly. I mean, personally, I don't know where the hell I would have bought this thing. Entirely too choppy for me. Yeah, IBM's a monster. Yeah, new high. As they say, an oldie but a goodie. An oldie but a goodie. Thoughts on WGS? That one made a hell of a move. Yeah, it's names like this that I would be cautious of getting bullish on right now. The best stocks are up near their all-time highs. And, when you see something like WGS or MMYT or, that have made these really big moves up and now are just kind of hugging their 200, or even something like LTH, right, where it's like the market's going, and this thing's just, down on earnings and then completely sideways while the market's effectively trending well. Yeah, I would be a little bit more thoughtful of these setups, thinking that you want to own them. Yeah, Justin, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's why you mentioned them for sure. Yeah, that's kind of how you want to think about them. They're showing relative weakness while the market is strong. So those are the ones that you go and potentially get, when the market, those are the ones that you go get when the market begins to roll over. UC team is a wildly choppy chart. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, recently, yeah, it's had big volatile moves up, but got above all key moving averages and started to tighten in here, and just a very clean downtrend line break. Nothing too insane about it. Yeah, it's volatile for sure, but you just got to size it down is all. And if you ask me, it kind of looks like TEM might want to go higher for sure, but I don't know. Sometimes the crowd can be a little exuberant and they're taking all charts up. It's like I could say the same exact thing about Rocket Lab. Never really got clean, but it just grinds off the lows and then just, starts to go kind of nuts. I mean, even same thing with QBTS. Totally kind of turdy stock and then all of a sudden just flying out of here. Oklo SMR extended for new buys, in my opinion. Too extended from their 50. Right? Last time Oklo made a move like this, it came down, right? Last time it made that move, it came straight down. Yeah, rational exuberance. Yeah, I want to be part of that, though. I want to be part of that irrational exuberance too, man. Yeah, it has that high type flag look, but again, the issue is not that it's not a high type flag look, right? It's the fact that it's up 62% from the 50 simple moving average. So, Roger, it's just far too extended for me. It's actually up 70% from its 50-day moving average. No, actually, I'm not. 62. All right, I'll tell you exactly how many times its average true range from the 50 it is. It is 9.52 times its average true range from the 50. Yeah, no way am I buying that. 0% chance am I buying that. Not happening in a million effing years. And it could go higher, but I just would never buy that. Ever. Not one time. I don't care how good it looks. You do that over the course of 1,000 trades, you won't be happy. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It might work this time, but then you'll just learn that as a bad habit and you'll take it with you. LTBR is also up 60%. And from the 50. And it is not as extended, 6.1 times its average true range from the 50. So not as bad. Another week of sideways, and then this one would actually be buyable. Another week of sideways, and this would be buyable. Just needs the 50 simple to catch up. I mean, every time LTBR has had a spike like this, what has it done? It's come right back down. A spike, right back down. A spike. Oh, now it's going sideways. Oh my God, it's amazing. Probably right back down. Just would be my guess. But again, if it goes sideways and can accept prices up above $14, well, then we'll have a different conversation. But it needs to tighten. I mean, I'm not going to buy something that's extended from the 50. Got extended from the 50 here and came right back down. Got extended from the 50 here and came right back down. It's extended from the 50 here, and it's probably going to come right back down. But again, I could easily be wrong. I just know for sure I wouldn't buy it up here this extended from the 50. It's just that simple. And you'll save yourself a lot of headache over the course of 1,000 trades, right? And the problem is if people take it and then they get rewarded and it goes to 20 and then they're like, oh, yeah, you see, Ariel, you were wrong. Well, that's fine. But now you've just burnt in that bad habit into your brain. And then, you know, what happens is you're going to be burned more times than you're right. Yeah, that's right. He wants the 20 to catch up. That's right. He wants 20 to be touching price, which also then means the 50 is not extended as in terms of ATR. That's exactly what he wanted. He wanted, you know, price to come in and start surfing on the 20, which then allows the 50 to catch up in terms of average true range, right? Because I'm still cool buying it while it's, you know, 4 times its average true. I'm still cool buying LTBR when it's 30%, 40% even above its 50. But, you know, not when it's 60% above its 50. Yeah, that's the problem, Roger, is that some people, you know, they'll have this work for them while it's extended. And then, you know, all of a sudden it'll work for you and you'll be like, oh yeah, it works all the time. It doesn't matter if it's not, it doesn't matter if it's extended. It's like, you know, over the course of a few years taking trades like that, you're not going to be a happy camper. What was my biggest lesson in trading? Oh man, my biggest lesson in trading, I would probably say actually came in 2022 when I bought CCJ. Looking at it now, I had like a $24 average on 50,000 shares, and I got caught in an overnight gap down. And I learned 2 lessons: that you can have the best thesis in the world, but being early is still being wrong. That's probably my biggest lesson ever. So yeah, it cost myself $250K overnight in an offering so that they could buy the Honeywell plant. I'll never forget it. And then at this point, you know, I had the best thesis in the world on CCJ and nuclear theme. And this was going back in 2022, you know, and that would right now, even on that size, you know, it would be like a $2-3 million win. So that one kind of stings. Again, not that it matters anymore because I made the money back and then some, but you know, at the time it was a nice chunk of my account. And man, I won't forget it because that one stung big time. You know, and I learned that being early is still being wrong. So it's like you really have to wait for the trend to start going in your favor instead of trying to be ahead of everybody, because then you might just end up being in something while wrong and losing a bunch of money for a while, and you just don't know how long that a while is going to be. So, man, that one hurt. Being early is still being wrong. Your bad habit is that all stocks you buy eventually come back, so you have a hard time respecting stops. Well, then simple, buy better stocks. What it's like, so you didn't buy Palantir at 100, you didn't buy Hood at 50, you didn't buy Uber at 70. That's your problem. If all your stocks are coming back on you, then you own bad stocks. The best horses don't come back to the starting gate. Remember that. The best horses do not come back to the starting gate. If all your stocks are coming back to your average and then some, well, then you own shitty stocks. Yeah, Baba's not that great. Futu's a little bit better, but just still choppy in here. So then you need to work on your timing is all. Your timing is off. So buy stocks that are in good groups that are showing relative strength, and obviously they're in good groups because they've been showing relative strength. And then, buy them on the day where the market or the group is going higher. So you allow your stock the best opportunity to push away from your average. It's the best advice I got for you. Track relative strength and then buy them on the day where the market's going higher. Don't trade relative strength on a market down day. Just track it and then buy it when the market's actually going up. That gives your stock the best opportunity to push away from your average. It's the best advice I can give you. So, in other words, focus on leading groups. Just don't trade them until the market's actually going higher. Because when you buy it, you want your stock to have the best opportunity to push away from where you bought it. And then at worst, you're just risking open profits. Yeah, I noticed QFIN. The other one that's been acting pretty well for Chinese stocks, TMC. Or no, not TMC, excuse me, TME. Yeah, look at this. Recent high. Holy shit, this thing just even had a spike this morning. What the hell? Look at this thing. $20 this morning. Up another $1. I didn't even realize that. Wow. Yeah, I saw ETHA, the Ethereum. I saw it yesterday. Nice little bull flag. Ideally, it wants to keep going. Yeah, I like Bros and Shop. I like Shop maybe a little bit more, but they just need to get going. They're not really doing anything at the moment. That's the problem. But yeah, of course I'd trade them. Yeah. I like the growthy names, man. Those are the ones that make some of the best moves, like your Hims, your TEM, your Toast, your Coin, your Bros, your Toast. Yeah, those are the ones that are going to make the best moves, in my opinion, with the least amount of headache in a good environment. Yeah, I don't really. I'm not going to be thinking too much about their accelerating free cash flow, to be honest with you. Not something that I'll think about. I mean, it's not. It's nice, but you want it. You just want to make sure that the volatility kind of subsides a little bit. The market's acting well. It's in a good group. They've got good earnings and sales. And if they do, then yeah, it could absolutely go higher. But obviously, better sales will lead to better earnings. Man, Meta is unbelievable, huh? Even on a day where just kind of acts a little weak yesterday into the close, right back up this morning. I mean, almost 10 points overnight. How do I handle multiple alerts triggering at once? That's a great question. No. So the thing is like when I go into any single day, I have all 4 of my most actionable charts right in front of my face, on my lower monitor, and I have orders ready to go on all of them. But I'm never really in a rush. So it's like I'm looking for 5-minute opening range breaks. I'm looking for a break over prior day high. Never really in a hurry to just start plowing into stocks. Right. Most recently, stocks will ramp in the morning. They'll pull back, for the first 15 or 20 minutes, and then they'll either find support there and start to grind back. And then that's when I'll look for them. But yeah, I'm never really in a hurry. Yeah. Meta's a little overextended. Yeah. I thought the spot to buy Meta was 650, 654 roughly. Coming out of this little consolidation here. And it's acting well. Guys, I got to get going. I got to get ready for live stream. I will see you guys in 23 hours. I appreciate you guys all for being here. As always, if you guys have questions, please save them for tomorrow, and I'll try to touch base with as many of you guys as I can. So please trade them well today, and don't do anything crazy. Remember to let the market pull you in. So, the market has to pull you in, and if we're really in a bull market, you're going to get continuation of setups. All right. So don't just think you have to get all of your money invested in a single day. Yeah. Net was a kind of a wild move, Roger, but I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in 23 hours.